Well, the custom scene is quite a complex beast because it's not about any one thing. I always say to people it's not really about motorcycles, it's about a lot more than that. People have a desire nowadays in this kind of health and safety culture where everything is kind of done and organised for us and technology is a bit beyond us. People want an escape from digital back into analogue. They definitely want an escape from all these virtual experiences back into real ones. And I think they're also looking for pursuits that are a bit more dangerous. Motorcycling is one of those kind of categories that sometimes people in marketing call safe dangerous. So it's all of those things combined, and motorcycling is a very pure form of that. The custom scene allows people to ride bikes that have that timeless character, that flavour, something that defines them. Making them their own and personalising them means that they're belonging to something, that they're part of something. They're doing something a little bit risky that involves speed, that involves a bit of danger, but it's kind of measured and acceptable. And when you add creativity and aesthetics, what you get is people wanting to make bikes their own. And that's really what the custom scene is born out of. And it's not really about any sort of one demographic or age group or class or culture. It's really about a certain type of person, and it's usually people who like aesthetics and who like aesthetics combined with engineering and have a certain attitude to life. I think the reason people sort of sometimes accuse the scene of being a little bit more about lifestyle and fashion is because actually it looks great. It's exciting, it's accessible. People who are not hardcore motorcycle aficionados look at bikes that are within this scene and they like the way they look aesthetically, they like the engineering, they think the scene looks a little bit more of something that they can relate to, because people aren't riding around in kind of sort of carbon, Kevlar, titanium tip jackets. They're riding around in leather jackets they might actually wear if they were going out. So it just looks a bit more normal. And I think the accessibility of it and the fact that a lot of people who are maybe a little bit more fashion conscious embrace it means that people have mixed it up a little bit. But I mean, absolutely, it's about biking and it's about sort of proper motorcyclists and proper skills. The appeal of modern classics is really simple. They work. Most people are looking for things that help describe who they are when it comes to any products that they use, or what they ride, what they drive, what they wear. And the idea of kind of the classic motorcycle and classic brands is always going to be popular, but people ultimately want their stuff to work. They want to get on a motorcycle that's going to go, that's not going to leave a pile of oil on their driveway, that leave their left shoe smelling of petrol every time they go anywhere. And a lot of the modern classic bikes now really have got it right in terms of look and feel, but they also have that benchmark standard of proper performance. The brakes work, they go around corners, they're going to start every time. So I think really when manufacturers get things right and build modern classic bikes that capture the spirit of the past or their brands, then people are going to want to ride them and want to own them. I think the Bonneville has been a favourite of the scene for a long time and a favourite of motorcycling in general because it has genuine heritage. It's a bike that's been around for a long time and fairly uninterrupted, and it's evolved. It hasn't had to sort of be too sort of rediscovered, and every iteration has had a similar flavour to it, and people are buying into something that feels as though it's got that sort of durability to it. But I think the other thing is it comes in lots of different versions. You can have the Cafe Racer Thruxton, you can have the Scrambler, you can ride it as more of a kind of a street style bike, or even kind of really do serious things with it and turn it into a Brat or a Tracker. The thing about the Bonneville is it comes quite readily prepared to look good just by taking the mirrors off and putting on a tail tidy. And I don't see many Bonnevilles in big cities like London or Paris where they haven't been played around with to some degree, and quite often it's not a lot. You see a Bonneville whiz past and you go, that's a really nice custom bike, and then you go, actually no, that's quite standard. They've just changed a couple of things. And customization is just another word for personalization, and that's something that's been going on for a long time. Even somebody who buys an Apple iPhone is going to choose their color, and then they're going to buy a cover that's going to say something about who they are. And I think it's just the same in motorcycle culture. A certain type of person wants to make something their own, and it's just a question of how far they go. What people are looking for from the manufacturers is authenticity and not marketing. They want to see bikes that have been built and designed and put together by people with passion, and they haven't just had the words Cafe Racer slapped on them. I chose a Bonneville as the bike that I'm riding at the moment for really simple reasons, actually. I've always liked twins. engines that have a little bit of thump to them and that have that balance between being kind of quite torquey and having a bit of character and something that you can short shift. And I wanted something also that had heritage, that had a brand that meant something. I think the DNA of the Bonneville is a couple of things really. One, it's an iconic name. It's a British manufacturer, and I think if you're British, I think that means quite a lot. I think the Bonneville name has attached itself to lots of models that a lot of people have a connection with. But I also think that the parallel twin is a really nice engine to ride.